Good evening, everyone, and thank you for joining us for another session of Cocktails and Conversations by Hosted. My name is Alexis Moore, your principal vibe creator, and I am so excited to have our another guest with us this evening, Mrs. Tiffany Kerr from Chic Situations. Tiffany, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you, Alexis, for having me.
Of course, of course. I was so excited that we were able to connect again. I believe we met last year and I learned a little bit about some of the endeavors that you were working on. And oh, what a difference a year makes. Congratulations on launching your new book, Chic Situations. I can't wait to dive into some of the content today. But before we jump in, as we do in every Cocktails and Conversations, can you share with us a little bit about the cocktail that you're going to be sharing with us tonight?
Yes, absolutely. So I am so excited to share with you, Alexis, this evening. And I had to tell you beforehand that, I'm a wine lover.
Mhm.
However, when the situation calls to be chic, you have to get a little bit creative, right?
Yes.
So tonight's cocktail is called the Chic Cosmo.
Ooh, that's a beautiful drink. Tell us a little bit more how you made that.
Yes, so it's very easy.
Okay.
All I did was put some ice and a half a cup of vodka, and it's an orange flavored vodka, which I think makes a big difference if you do
Okay.
flavored vodka, and a half a cup of fruit punch. And it's simple. And then I topped it off with a little bit of blueberries.
That's a beautiful drink and it sounds super refreshing. I might have to try this at our next cocktails and conversation. Um, thank you for that recipe.
Yes,
Let
it's
me
so
try it.
easy. Anyone can make it. And guess what? Any drink that you make, as long as you put it in a nice glass, it looks good.
A festive glass, right?
Yes.
That is beautiful. That is absolutely beautiful. Now, did you come up with a name for your drink?
Yes, the Chic Cosmopolitan.
The Chic Cosmopolitan. Love that. Absolutely love that. I hope folks will try that for their next virtual happy hour. It's just a couple ingredients
That's it.
and a super
Keep it
tasty
simple. That's it.
orange flavored vodka is the key though, right?
Yes, it's any orange flavored vodka, and it's like a cranberry and vodka, but with a twist. And you
With a
add some
twist.
little garnish in there with blueberries in it, and
Yeah.
that's it.
And did you freeze your blueberries by chance?
No, but that's an actual good idea. People can do is freeze them, or
Okay.
you can what's it called? Mulch them at the bottom, crush them up,
Yeah.
hmm
So we got a
like a
couple of
mojito.
see now mojito is my favorite drink.
Ah, look at that! Now, what are you drinking tonight, Alexis?
So, in honor of tonight's conversation, just had to have a little bit of my favorite blend of our
Nice.
Black Girl Magic wine, the red blend. So we're kind of keeping it in the family, but there's a little bit of wine. So cheers to you tonight.
Cheers,
Our
cheers.
cocktails and
Thank
conversation.
you.
So, Tiffany, we learned a little bit about the chic cosmopolitan. Tell us a little bit about your journey and how you arrived at chic situations.
Wow, yes. I have to say that it wasn't a dream of mine to always become an author.
Mhm.
It just is something that developed, and it's a blessing that just blooms and you just go with it.
Yeah,
So Chic Situations came about 5 years ago. And I'll tell you the backstory first behind it.
sure.
And so we're in New Jersey. Well, I'm in New Jersey, and I'm originally from California.
Okay.
And that's how I met my husband. And when we met, I think I was very young. I was in my 20s, and my husband was 13 years older than me. And we dated off and on, and he proposed, and we got married. And I moved from California to New Jersey, left my entire family. I have a huge family, and coming to just this strange place, a new atmosphere, a new environment, left me feeling a bit lonely and homesick because I was away from everything that I knew. And so he knew this, and he tried to make things better. And we went through our life. You get married, you have a child, you buy a home, and all that good stuff. But it was just still that empty feeling inside of me, and I felt like For one, I was very young. I never lived with a man before. I never owned a home before. I was away from all of my family mentors, my mom, my grandmother, my aunts, and my father, everybody who taught me how to be the person that I was or that I am. I was
Mm-hmm.
away from them. And this gave me the opportunity to say, okay, if I'm going to survive this, because I never thought in a million years I would be leaving and moving from my home state. If I'm going to survive this, I need to create this. I need to create the life that I want. I
Yeah.
need to get myself together, step it up, and teach myself how to be a wife, teach myself how to be a mom, teach myself how to keep a clean home, because I hadn't gotten to that point yet. I was literally like fresh out of college, just a couple of years working, met a man and got married, and like, what do I do next?
Yeah.
So it was a whole self-teaching moment. And through all of that with my daughter, I just kept journaling and journaling every day. I just wrote stuff down, frustrations, good times, bad times, everything. And in addition to that, then you buy your first home. You
Mm-hmm.
start having people over, and you actually, some people like it, some people don't. I started to love it. I started to love having people over, cooking dinner, calling up my family members saying, how do you make that peach cobbler?
Mm-hmm.
Or how do you make that soup that you cook, or collard greens, or whatever it is that you're cooking? I always called somebody up and asked them, what's the recipe? And I would have dinner parties, and I would have backyard parties, and any type of party, my daughter's birthday party. It just became a thing where I was always planning and thinking of what to do next,
Mm-hmm.
but I didn't really know exactly what I was doing.
But it came
So
naturally to you.
it came naturally. However, I had a desire to learn more. I
Yeah.
had a desire to, so I love to go shopping to buy nice dishes, but how do you put the dishes on the table? I didn't know. So I
Yeah.
did a lot of research. I bought a lot of books, but I bought too many books. And one of the things I always say is that, I mean, I love books. You can never have too many books, but I got frustrated because it was too much information in too many different books.
Yeah.
There's some different books about how to decorate, how to clean, how to cook, how to have etiquette, how to present your best self, and manners and style. And I said, if all of this information was just in one book, it would make a whole lot more sense. So I started coming together with ideas from my personal story and putting them down on paper and creating a flow that would help not just me, but the everyday woman,
Yeah.
every woman, and not just women of color, but every woman, and
Yeah.
and how you can teach yourself and learn new things and create what I call chic situations for yourself and your family and for your friends. And the word chic came about is just my obsession with Paris, because I had always wanted to go to Paris, and that was a dream trip of ours, and we made it happen. We took our daughter one year and we stayed an entire week in the city, and we lived like locals, and we did everything the Parisians do. I looked at everything the Parisians did, and how they carried themselves and how they dressed, and of course with all the sightseeing and everything.
Yeah.
But I took a lot of notes, and then I came back and added that information into it, and I was like, we need to elevate ourselves. We need to remind ourselves how special we are and how special each moment can be in life, and how we can make it. So I put the word chic on it and added the word situations to it and combined the two. So there you go, Alexis, in a nutshell of how it came to be.
I absolutely love it. You took a situation that could be challenging for anyone moving all the way across the country, leaving the community that you knew behind and starting your family and starting it in a new city. And you made a situation, you turned that situation into a really great opportunity and a growth opportunity. And kudos to you for being able to take that journey and journal it, take your journey and write it down and journal it and create a story to be able to help others who may be experiencing the same thing. So many of us have experienced being away from the things that we know, the things that we call home.
Mhm.
Um, and just, we struggle with how to create that in a new space. And so that is something that I know a lot of folks can connect with. And Paris is always a good time.
Mm-hmm.
Always a good
Love.
time. And that's awesome that you were able to take your family overseas to experience that. So that is awesome. Talking a little bit about community, building a community that can identify with hosting. Can you tell
Mm-hmm.
me a little bit more about how you are using your craft to be able to cultivate community?
Yeah. So you mentioned community, and the first thing that came to my mind is just like bringing people together.
Yeah.
Yeah, bringing people together with the common interest. So I hear the word community and I think of just commonalities, the things that we have in common.
Hmm.
And for me, I feel like when people read the book, I want people to understand that it's not just an etiquette book. It's a lifestyle book. It's a way of life. It's a journey from the inside out,
Hmm.
because we have to understand how we feel on the inside in order to be our best selves on the outside and learn how to treat people better. Because once you feel comfortable with yourself and how you're living your life, you can then feel comfortable to fill someone else's cup and help them. And
Right.
that's all about community. It's about just sharing and passing on the knowledge, helping each other be our best selves, and get rid of that crab in a barrel mentality, because that's what can happen really quickly, is that if one person elevates and looks great, then it's a thing of putting someone down or looking at someone in a different way, when I want to help express and help encourage people to look at someone and help them, help them be their best selves, compliment them, share
Yeah.
conversations and experiences with them. And it's just helping ourselves be better as a people. And I think that for me, etiquette per se, when you say craft, a lot of what I do from the book is um, common courtesies,
Hmm.
etiquette, those daily thoughtful processes that we have to think of that take ourselves out of the picture and help us to remember to think of others. And when you think of etiquette, it's universal.
Hmm.
It's an equal level playing field, no matter what race, creed, religion, male, female. If you present yourself with the proper etiquette, you should be able to have confidence and be accepted in whatever experience or situation that you are in, no matter your age, your culture, your gender, the country you're in. You could take color and race out of it. It could just be, I'm here. I know which glass to use. I know which knife and fork to use. I know how to present myself well. There is no way that you can judge me in any other way,
Yeah.
because I am giving you what is universal, if
Hmm.
that makes sense. And that's a part of community, is teaching each other this universal language, because we all understand etiquette.
You know, um, that is beautiful. I'm so glad that you intertwine etiquette and community and the consideration of others. I think heard it so eloquently put that etiquette is truly one. It's a foundation that we all can identify with, right? And it's the consideration of others. It's the consideration of how we show up and how we are the our actions, and how we also can show our gratitude, whether you are the guest,
Mhm.
that's how you show your gratitude for the host, and vice versa. So etiquette, tell me a little bit about how you're currently teaching etiquette classes, is that correct?
Yes. So I also do lessons. I
Hmm.
have done kid lessons, adult lessons. I've done faculty workshops at my job for teachers.
Hmm.
So I like to intertwine real life scenarios with people of all ages.
Yeah.
And I've done a teenage session before. So it's just a matter of helping people understand the foundation, like you just said, the basics. Once you get
Hmm.
comfortable with the basics, then you can move up to the next level of different things. So I teach presentation,
Hmm.
I teach basic dining skills, social skills, and overall business professional skills. And
Yeah.
that's all intertwined. And you practice it. The more you practice it, the more it becomes a part of your nature.
Yeah. That's beautiful. Oh, and I love that you're starting with with children and teenagers and giving them that foundation so that as they matriculate through life, they have a really strong foundation on how they show up, um, whether it be at their places of work or within their home, with their friends' homes or loved ones' homes. It's so important, especially when it comes to hosting, that folks are able to have the tools that they need in order to be that gracious guest or that gracious host. Um, so tell
Yes,
me.
yeah.
Mhm,
Because, if you're at a dinner table and you are, let's say someone asks you to pass the salt and you know that you're supposed to pass the salt and the pepper together,
mhm,
it just keeps the flow of the dinner going. You don't have to go back and forth because if someone asks for the salt, they're probably going to ask for the pepper. So
shortly
you
thereafter.
always pass them both together, or just
Yeah.
the way you pass from the left to the right if you're at a dinner table, or to know which water glass is your water glass, or if you're hosting, you serve your guests, or knowing that if I'm a guest at your home, that I wait for you to give me a signal, or for you to begin your meal before I begin mine, or it depends on what type of situation you're in. And it's always just thinking of others first,
Mhm.
because um, I have attended the an adult finishing school in New York, and during my training, I remember my teacher teaching me that think of, and the way she said it was so funny. Just think of not being annoying. If you think of not being annoying, you're being considerate of others, right? So if
Yeah.
I am stirring my tea, I will try not to clink my cup to make noise, because I don't want to annoy you. I
Yeah.
don't want to be obnoxious to you. It's not that I want to look nice and beautiful. It's that it's a consideration of you. So everything that we do in etiquette, and also hosting, because hosting, you're giving your full self, you're giving your full energy, everything that you have, you're giving it to other people. I know that when I used to have people over for the weekend, when they leave, I used to be exhausted
Drained.
because
Drained.
you gave everything to them. So, but
Yeah.
it's a beautiful feeling, and it's always nice, and we just have to remember to keep the cycle of giving going.
Yeah. I could not agree with you more on definitely 2 points. One, when you give your all in hosting, you feel drained. It's a good drain, right? You're giving all of your energy to your guests that are coming in because one, you are considerate of them. You're thinking about how they will experience you in the moment or the time that you all have, whether it is for just for an evening or whether it's for a weekend. As a gracious host, you are certainly thinking about ways to be mindful of your guests and ensuring that they have a really good time. And, I equate that and ground that into the rules of hospitality. It's something that I felt my mom taught me when I was younger is that you truly do consider those that are coming because one, you never know the sacrifice that people have kind of gone through to get to you
Mhm.
to spend time with you. And you always want to let them know that you are grateful for your time that you're spending with them. Not to mention the logistical nature of hosting,
Mhm. Absolutely.
preparing your home, cooking, and then even the activities that you are planning. So, with that said, we are approaching what I call the gathering season.
Mhm.
Now, because of the pandemic, it might look a little bit different this year, but I know that there are some really great tips in your book for those folks, whether you're hosting a few family members or, you may be choosing to have a larger gathering. Can you tell us a few tips that you may give folks for this coming gathering season, whether it's Thanksgiving or other holidays towards the end of the year?
Yes. So I really do think that we should take caution and take heed to the virus that's going around, because it is real, and people are warned to wear masks at all times and have their gatherings limited and small. So my first suggestion would just be, if you can, do it virtual, because you can have fun virtual. You can be in the comfort of your own home. You can make a theme out of it. You can send real invitations or evites. you can make it a real festive activity virtually, and it could be with family all over the country, which is the best thing about virtual.
Yeah.
It's because someone doesn't have to get on the airplane and come to your home, or you don't have to do the extra work of hosting. You can just have a virtual party and call it a day. However, if you do have the urge to host, and I feel like that it is coming around to that season, and people do just want to sacrifice a little bit and have some family members at home, you know, come over and spend the weekend or cook, and you have that small gathering. Is I call it the 3 Ps. And so here's the 3 Ps. It's plan, prepare, and personalize.
Mm-hmm.
So when you plan, I feel like you mentioned, you are thinking of your home, you're thinking of the space that you want to use, the guest room if you have one, um, planning, you're making lists, right? You're making lists on what it is you need to buy, what it is you need to do, and um, you're thinking of what to do. What are
Mm-hmm.
we going to do when we're together? What kind of activities? Are we going to go anywhere? Planning, I'm a big planner. So you have to think about when and plan. What are we doing? Make a list, put everything on paper. That's the best way to go, or put it in your phone. Um, the second thing is prepare. So when you plan it out and you have everything written down, now it's time for the fun stuff. The fun stuff is preparing, is if you're shopping or if you're thinking of a theme or whatever holiday it is, you're preparing. You have to clean your home. You have to decorate. Which holiday is it? Is it Thanksgiving? Are you having pumpkins, or are you having your Christmas tree up, or lights, or whatever it is that you're doing? So you prepare. And a part of that to me too, like I know when I used to have dinner parties, is I would set the table early. So
Mm-hmm.
whatever you're doing, set it up early. Like especially if you're setting a table for something, is you want to set it a day or two early, because you want to make sure you're not missing anything. So
Yeah.
if if you're setting up a guest room, I know if it's feasible, set it up a day early, because you might be missing something and you want to be able to go out and get that last minute thing, or you might be missing a part of the recipe that you plan to cook or something. So you want to plan ahead, prepare the space, which is what we just talked about. And then I really like this part, is personalize. And I think that's where you come in, Alexis, is I love your gift baskets. And I remember seeing the things that Hosted has created for people.
Thank
And
you.
this is a special part of personalizing a space. Like, so in my book, I talk about in part one, where it's called Creating Chic.
Mm-hmm.
It's the part where you have to create it, right? It doesn't, sometimes it just happens, but we have to create it most of the times. And that's where you have to get creative and think about, how am I going to make this moment special? So if you know you're having guests, and your mother or your grandmother or your aunt or your girlfriend or best friend, whoever is coming to your home, you personalize it. So in the guest room, I used to put photos of me and the other person
I love that.
on the nightstand. So find a photo, frame it, put it on the nightstand. Get some fresh flowers. Fresh flowers is
Everything.
everything.
Every we put them in the bathroom, in the kitchen.
Everything in the kitchen, on the dining table. Put it on the
Yes.
little table by the door, on the entryway. Personalize it. Candles. If you know someone loves to read, you can put books by the nightstand, or magazines. Um, I also would do like a nice welcome card. So
Mm-hmm.
if you have a card or a nice note card, you can write to them and say, "Hi, so and so, I am so glad you made it to visit, spend the weekend with us. I'm looking forward to having a great time. Um, if anything you need, please let us know."
Yep.
Or whatever note you want it, if you like, however you want to leave that person's experience before they go to bed, because they're going to go to their room. Think about it. They're going to go to their room, they're going to put their stuff away, and they're going to see this cute little card on the pillow and say, "Oh, what is this?" And they're going to open it and feel special, right? You know,
Absolutely.
and make sure they have what they need, whether if it's water or snacks or candy, even a small little gift, something to make them feel like, wow, I am so glad I'm here. Because like you said, you never know what people are going through.
Yeah.
And just that little experience there will allow them to just feel relaxed in someone else's home, and you to feel relaxed,
Hmm.
and make a positive vibe, how we would say, or just some positive energy that
Yeah.
starts off the whole situation.
I love using the term vibe.
Yeah.
It's all about the vibe you create. And I think, you hit the nail on the head. When you take time to plan, prepare, you are setting the stage so that um, you almost disarm folks when they come in, right? You're thinking
Mhm.
about them, and when they walk into that space and they are reminded of your connection with them through the pictures, and then they look over to the nightstand and they see that you've put some water and a few snacks, that you've thought about them and their experience, and then to cap it all off with a nice note to let them know that you are so appreciative that they were spending time with you. um, it that contributes to the vibe. It contributes
Yeah.
to the vibe of the event. And I think that, those those small touches, they just require just a little bit of kind of one, intentionality, and two, just a little bit of thought. I love that you said, put your schedule of events in your phone. I find a lot of times that my husband and I, when we'll have different events, I'll put calendar invites just to know, hey, it's time to change over. Or like if we have a weekend of events, just he and I will have cues of when um, we should be switching out duties, so that if one person is in the moment, over here, I'll know, okay, well, you kind of be behind the scenes making sure that this particular we're ready for the next event, or we're ready for the next moment to take place. And whatever you need to make sure that you're able um, to execute that weekend the way you want to, or that time together the way you want to, you know, take the time to plan and
Right.
then prepare to do that. You mentioned that it is chic to do a virtual gathering. Have you done, with your family being in California, have you had to do some virtual events for major holidays? And if so, could you share a little bit about how that experience was?
Well, not as yet. I'm actually thinking about doing something with my family, maybe for Thanksgiving, because usually we travel and we go to California, but because of the COVID and I have a young son, we're not going to
Yeah.
do it this year. However, my book launch, we did a beautiful book launch party virtually, and it turned
Yeah.
out so great. And the key to that is you have to remind people the time difference,
Yes.
because they have to be reminded that wherever they are, the time zones are different and you have to work around people's schedules. So I was blessed to be able to have my whole family and friends from all across the country on the book launch of the virtual party. But definitely for this holiday season, I think the virtual parties are in. You can
Yeah.
make it fun. You could pick a theme and attire and have fun with it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And we encourage folks, you mentioned earlier, um, taking the current climate very seriously.
Mhm.
You can have just as good of a time virtually as you would together. It just takes a little bit of planning and preparing to do that. I know I was looking up at some ideas, that some fun activities that you can do virtually. You can do a decorating contest, tablescape decorating contest, or recipe sharing. I've even heard some folks that are planning cooking parties virtually
Yes,
with their family
yeah.
members. So, you said you call up someone for that recipe. Well, maybe think
Yes.
about doing a
And here's
virtual
another
session.
idea too. Another idea could be, so one of my family traditions
Uh-huh.
is the day after Thanksgiving, all of us, we are decorating for Christmas.
I'm with you.
On Black Friday, I
Yes.
get up early and I do my shopping online, and we are spending the whole day after Thanksgiving taking down the Thanksgiving stuff and putting up all Christmas stuff. And that could be a virtual party, like a tree trimming party. So you can
Yes.
put everybody together on the virtual call and talk and put on Christmas music, and everyone's decorating their tree at the same time. It will be so much fun.
So much fun. And I absolutely love that idea. We decorate the day after Thanksgiving as well. And hop on that Zoom call and have a tree trimming party together. I absolutely love that idea. So this gathering season, it'll look a little bit different, but it can be done and it can be fun, and you could still maintain that connection and those relationships.
Yes.
And if you do gather in person, make sure you're just, being mindful and considerate of the climate. So yeah, I absolutely love those tips and ideas on how you can keep it fun, how you can keep it engaging, and making sure that folks are having a really great time and celebrating the holidays together. We kind of talked a little bit about the current climate, and in the age of COVID, it's hard to plan events.
We've been celebrating, and then when we do go out, it's celebrating actual milestones.
Yeah,
Someone's birthday, okay. And we did do a date night because it was 6 months and we had a date night.
yeah.
So it has to be a special occasion now for us to take that risk. However, we just keep doing text messaging. I think I've been texting a lot more lately this time around than any time else of the year, and virtual calls and FaceTiming. I think we're getting a lot more comfortable in front of the screen. It's like TV time all the time.
Yeah, all the time, all the time. I love that you shared reserving those moments of going out for those really special moments, those really sacred moments. If you're going to take the risk, you're certainly doing it for those. You're doing it very responsibly, but also for those moments where you get to celebrate those moments in your community. And I wholeheartedly agree with you. Pandemic, no pandemic. I think that when you invite someone into your home, you're inviting them into a sacred space. So I was gonna see if we could play a little bit of a game.
Okay, I like games.
All right.
Let me get my drink first. Hold on.
Let me get my situations. Some folks have different interpretations of chic. So if you don't mind, I'll throw out a couple of scenarios and you tell me chic or not chic. Okay?
Okay. Oh yes, I love this.
Okay. So we are approaching the gathering season. As a hostess, I would like to be considerate of my guests, so I send out the menu in advance, so our guests know what the meal is. Chic or not chic?
I think that is chic. I
Okay.
think it is. It's chic because you want to make sure if someone has any allergies, and that also lets the guests know that they don't need to bring anything.
Okay.
You got it covered.
You got it covered. Chic.
Yes, that is chic.
Okay. I'm running late for a dinner party and I do not let the host know. Chic or not chic?
That is not so chic. Not
Shame
chic
on
at
you.
all. No. You have to be chic. You have to let the hostess know that you're running late. It doesn't mean that you don't go. It means that you give the hostess a common courtesy of a phone call. I really do think there's a difference between phone calls and simple text messages. Text messages, to me, I feel I'm kind of still old school.
Okay.
If I am preparing and I'm in the midst of whatever I'm doing in expectance of my guests, and I get a random text message saying that you're going to be late, or whatever excuse you text somebody, it's almost annoying.
Yeah.
It's almost like, okay, why are you texting me now, to be honest? However, if you let your host know, if you know in advance, always let the hostess or host know in advance. But if you are unable to, a phone call is so much more personable because it's a little more respectful. Hi, I am so sorry to interrupt. I am running a few minutes behind. Is that okay? And then you want to ask, because what if it's so late that they've already started the main course, or there's a different vibe per se happening, or whatever it is. You still want to welcome them to come, but you want to let that person know, well, we've started dinner already, just so you know when you come, this is what it is. So it doesn't seem like there's any miscommunication.
So chic to give a phone call, not chic to not give a heads up to the host or hostess, and not so chic to communicate that via text.
Right.
Got it. I mean, our generation has gotten so used to just text messaging. It's like, it's not appropriate for all
Yes,
scenarios.
yes. And here's another thing, Alexis.
Uh-huh.
Let's say that the hostess is so busy that when you do call, they don't answer the phone. Because
Yeah.
sometimes I'm not looking at my phone if I'm already entertaining people.
Hmm.
And the person comes late, that person needs to apologize immediately. It
To the
needs to
host.
be, yes, it needs to be a recognition of respect
Yeah. A
right
recognition
away.
of respect.
Hmm.
Got
Because
it.
it takes time. You have to respect people's time.
You do. Their time and their effort. Their time and their effort. Um, Not sending a thank you note after as a guest, not sending a thank you note. Chic or not chic?
Of course, it's not chic. It's not chic. I think a thank you note is always appropriate. And it depends on your relationship with the hostess. You know, I think a thank you can come in many different forms. And I write about this in the book is you can send a thank you. You can send a very nice text message as a
Uh-huh.
thank you. You can send a very nice email. You can send a gift. Let's say that you were invited to someone's home and they said, no, don't bring anything, just come because they've taken care of everything. Usually you would be that person bringing a pie or bringing wine or whatever it is that you're bringing. So if the host or hostess told you not to bring anything, just come, that can be your opportunity to thank them later with something.
Yeah.
You can see that, oh, at the dinner, they like this particular wine, and you can send them a bottle of that wine. Or you can order them a nice candle or a gift or something to be sent to them, or immediately write a handwritten thank you note is always the best.
Always
Because,
welcome.
yes, always welcome, because it's just that unexpected gift of surprise when you get something nice in the mail like that.
Yeah.
So I think a thank you is chic, but don't wait too long. When you wait too long, it's kind of like after the fact. So it has to be at least no longer than 48 hours after to send a thank you.
No longer than 48 hours. I agree. Like, I
Yes.
think, so I work in HR, right? And so we talk about rewards and recognition. And when you want to recognize someone for positive behaviors, positive experience, it's most impactful when it is close to the event or the occurrence. And the longer you wait, there's that time that passes that you can't make the connection really to
Right.
how you really felt with the experience. You answered my next chic or not chic, and it was actually showing up empty-handed.
That's not chic.
Not chic.
Doesn't matter if the host and there's a tricky part. Doesn't matter if the host said don't bring anything. I would still bring something, especially if it's your first time to the person's house.
Agreed. Especially if it's the first time to the person's home. It's a thank you for allowing me into
Yes.
your home, into your sacred space. So and let's say you did forget. Tiffany, share with us how do you rectify that? Shortly after the event,
Hmm.
a thank you note
Yes, and
follow
you
it.
can give a gift. Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. Yep. And
Yeah.
and it doesn't have to be an expensive gift. It doesn't have to be big or elaborate. It could be what I used to do is stock up on universal gifts.
Uh-huh. Candles.
Yes,
Wine.
wine,
Yep. Desserts.
desserts. It could be, people love home goods. They love those stores. It could be a beautiful
Absolutely.
frame.
Yep.
It could be just something that can be it could be a nice quote, it could be a nice picture, it could be, like you said, a candle, something
Yeah.
something that they can use in the future, that they can use it for themselves, or they could leave it in their home for someone else to use.
Mm-hmm. I love that. Just stock up whenever you see, something on sale, or, just have a little hosting closet, or a little closet to float your gifts from to say thank you. As you're invited here and there to different events and different gatherings. Doesn't hurt.
Yes,
It doesn't
yep.
hurt. You mentioned people welcoming folks into your home. Chic or not chic? Um, Asking your guests to remove their shoes.
Oh, I talk about this too, because we do it in our home. We
We
take
do
off
too.
our shoes. um I think that it's not so chic to ask people,
Hmm.
only because everyone has a preference, and that is a part of hosting.
Yeah.
When you're hosting, you are almost like catering to the other person. So if that person does not want to remove their shoes, by you asking them, you put them in an awkward situation. And they're like, do I have to take off my shoes? Okay, what if that person didn't wear socks? What if
Yeah.
they don't have the proper footwear to wear around your home?
Mm-hmm.
You know, I know some people who would offer nice socks or offer little slippers in lieu of taking off their shoes. However, I think it kind of throws off the energy when as soon as someone walks in, you're like, can you please take off your shoes? And it's like, wow, you know, and some people may wear nice shoes because they're going out of their home. They
Right.
may want to wear those nice shoes, man
Yeah.
or woman. So I think with that, give that person the choice, and that is a non-verbal choice. And what I mean by that is what we do is we keep some shoes at the front door,
Yeah.
nice and neat and clean. And when people come in, they know, they look around, they observe. If they see,
Visual
oh, they
cues.
take off their shoes, they take off their shoes too, if they choose to, because some people do it.
Yeah.
And if people don't do it, that's their prerogative. They could keep
Yeah.
on their shoes, they could see your shoes and still don't care and want to keep on their shoes. The
Yeah.
point is you are having people at your house, so you have to be willing to clean up those floors when everybody leaves.
It's a part of hosting. It's a part of hosting.
Yes.
But you mentioned there's also the opportunity to be able to help your guests by, just leaving a little basket of socks or slippers, in the event that folks willingly or unwillingly take off their shoes, they have something to be able to feel comfortable, walking around your home. So not chic to require, chic to be able to provide some footwear in the event that folks are not
Yes.
ready.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. When we think about cultivating community and cultivating a sense of community within our neighborhoods, I always struggle with, I want to give my neighbors a little something to wish them the happy holidays. Um, but then, you just, you never know how it's really going to be received. If they're, you don't want them to feel like they have to give you something. Is it chic to think about your neighbors for the holidays? Not chic,
I think it's very chic to think of your neighbors, not the whole block,
not the whole block.
but but your close neighbors, you want to thank them. And
Yeah,
what we usually do is we buy bottles of wine. I think wine, everyone loves wine.
yeah,
And especially those neighbors, because we had neighbors who would watch our home for us when we go out of town.
yeah,
We have neighbors who would tell us something that's going on outside the house.
yeah,
You know, another neighbor plays with our daughter. So it's like those people who you're in constant contact with all year round.
yeah,
You want to make sure you thank them with something. And I'm not really a fan of gift cards, but gift cards work too.
yeah,
Something simple and easy and a nice card, a holiday card wishing them a happy holidays, just something to thank them. I think it's nice because then you feel like you feel just accepted and
yeah.
you feel respected too at the same time as neighbors. Just like a long time ago, people used to give the postman Christmas gifts and the FedEx man and
They
UPS
still do.
man. Yes. So the people out there that are helping you, that's the time when you give back.
Yeah, yeah. And you mentioned that's the time you feel respected and you feel, I would add that you feel connected to your
Yes.
neighbors. It just reminds them of that gratitude that you have. And when we talked a little bit earlier about community, how do you do that? How do you continue to foster a sense of community? And it's really the reminders that we appreciate you looking out for our home. We appreciate the playtime with and the connection with the kids, and it's a nice little nod to share with them during the holiday season. So
Yes.
chic to
That's chic.
consider.
I think it's very chic. And if it wasn't COVID, I think if you were having a holiday party, invite them.
Invite them. Hmm.
I've done it before because for one, and here's a golden rule is if you're having a party with music, you want to invite your neighbors
Yeah,
because you don't want your neighbors to call and say that your music is too loud. However, you just invite them out of courtesy because you want to share that moment with them and it's a holiday party or any type of celebration. I remember throwing a birthday party for myself. My family came and I had all the neighbors in the backyard.
Yeah.
And it was so much fun because we see each other in passing, you stop and talk on the street, but to have everyone relaxed and dancing and eating, it was just so much fun.
Yeah. Just a nice way to be able to gather and to bring them in. You get to see another side of folks
Yes.
passing high and by, as folks coming out of their driveway is nice, but then to be able to create some opportunities to get to know them a little bit more on a personal level. It's always a nice opportunity to be able to do that.
Yes, and they can get to know us, you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
and yeah, so especially if they're neighbors of a different race or culture, it's okay. We have to be able to live with each other, and I think by accepting each other and how we live, that's the first thing is sending the invitation.
The invitation. The invitation in. It lets them know that we are open and we want to cultivate those relationships. And that's so important, especially in this day and age. I think that, where we can live it in isolation and our home is our space. We need the people that are around us to kind of that we need to extend the invitation in. And so
Yes.
yeah, I definitely agree. Definitely agree. So Tiffany, we learned a little bit about what's chic, what's not chic as you're approaching this gathering season. I think folks have some tips and tools in their toolkit, and that was just a quick synopsis. But chic situations will give you all that you need in order to be able to navigate being a host or a hostess and a guest. I was reading it from both perspectives, and I really think that there's some awesome information. And you mentioned earlier there are so many books out there, but to be able to have a number of different topics and areas of hosting and lifestyle. You said you are a home enthusiast. To have it all in one place, I think is an awesome, awesome, awesome gift that you are giving to the world, sharing your gift and your experiences. How can folks, can you tell us a little bit about how folks can get in contact with you, and if you have any upcoming events that folks can join you virtually?
Yes, thank you. You can reach me on my website, www.chicsituations.com. The book is available on Amazon now. So
Yes,
feel free to pick it up and grab a couple copies. That could be your universal hostess gift. Everybody would love that.
very true.
And yes, thank you. And check out my website. You can follow me on Instagram at chic.situations and also on Facebook at chic situations. And I do have one event coming up scheduled. It is partnered with the YWCA, and I will be hosting a mommy daughter etiquette lesson, and it's
Oh,
called Prepping for the Holidays. So be on the lookout for that. I will be posting more information on my Instagram page, and it's with the YWCA, and it's Prepping for the Holidays.
absolutely love that. Absolutely love that. So, folks, we encourage you to grab a copy or two or three for yourself and for your family and friends. As Tiffany said, it makes a great holiday present as well. And then feel free. I follow you on Instagram, and the daily quotes and inspiration, I think, is something that I truly appreciate. So thank you for continuing to take moments throughout your day, Tiffany, to inspire the rest of us. We certainly appreciate it. And I thank you for joining us tonight for Cocktails and Conversation. Hopefully tonight was chic situation approved.
Yes,
Cheers
it
to
was.
you. Cheers to
Cheers.
you. Until next time, thank you for joining us for another episode of Cocktails and Conversation. We hope you enjoyed another episode of Cocktails and Conversation. Be sure to hit the like button and leave a comment below to let us know if you enjoyed the session. For future episodes, be sure to subscribe. Craving more information about building a sense of community through hosting? Head on over to our Instagram and Facebook pages, hosted by TMC. See you next time.